Hello and welcome to Book Talk. Today I'm Christine and today we're discussing SCYTHE by Neal Shusterman. And holy shit, I'm not even done with this book. I was putting away my lights and I'm listening to the audiobook and I had 2 hours left and I'm like crying and yelling and just like standing still slack-jawed. I knew that I needed to record this right now, because I didn't even think I was gonna do a book talk about this. Like, I can't not. There hasn't been a book that I've felt so strongly about in so long. Like, that's like shaking me to my core where I'm like, holy shit, I need to turn on a camera. And I'm cursing a lot and I'm sorry, but I have very strong feelings right now. It's like 12:45 at night. Did I say that yet? Like, I'm cleaning up because I filmed a video this morning. So the entire day editing, it's 12:45 and I'm gonna take a shower to go to bed. But sorry, I can't, because I just almost finished SCYTHE and it's blowing my fucking mind. You have to read it. Like, I know I've been like saying that it sounds really good for so long and now I'm like so close to finishing it and it's so fucking good. It's just such a fantastic concept, and it's one thing to have this like amazing concept and this amazing setup for this perfectly plausible futuristic world, but it's another to execute this story so well. It's hard when you read book after book after book after book not to see shit coming, because like your brain's always plotting out the possibilities of where stuff can go, and I've just been like, oh, whoa! This feels like something that I would teach, like if I had an English class, and this has been a question that I've not known the answer to in the past. If I taught an English class to students in middle school, this is something I would have them read. Like, this feels something that I legitimately could have read and really enjoyed and really made an impact. Like, this could have been my Giver, you know? Like, you remember when you read The Giver? I read it in 5th grade, but like it was assigned reading in 8th grade, and like it shook me. I was like, whoa! It made me think real hard for a 10-year-old. And this is that, except more intense, like on another level. Wow. Wow. I'm not even done. I'm not done. I am not done. Like, why am I recording this? Okay, I've finished now. That was amazing. You have to read it. A+ to SCYTHE, 5 stars to SCYTHE. You should read SCYTHE. There's not that much hype about SCYTHE. Not enough people are talking about it for my liking. I'm gonna obviously talk about it incessantly now. Like, it's already like my top book of 2018. Is it my first book of 2018? It's my first book of 2018, and it's my top book. That was so good. This Pulitzer Prize, well deserved. That's it for the non-spoilery section. Leave if you haven't read it. Dear God, leave if you haven't read it, and go read it. Or listen to the audiobook. I'm an Audible affiliate. This is a great one to start with. If you use my link in the description, you get your first book for free. Please do it. I'm really afraid that I'm waking up my neighbors right now. I'm really sorry. Like, when a book's this good, I just can't help it. I obviously can't help it. What am I doing right now? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I already recorded today. Bye, non-spoilery folk. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Okay, so last night I was listening to the part when Citra gets framed for the death of SCYTHE Faraday, which I was just like, holy shit, what the fuck? No. And the only thing I've called is her running off the roof, off the Headblades building. Like, that's the only thing I've called, like, since, I don't even know since when. Oh, since I called that they're gonna have to clean each other at the end of their training. Just, I'm blown away by this idea of the Thunderhead and how they're blown away by the idea that we would fear something like that. An AI that powerful, that all-knowing. I'm blown away by the idea that, like, there is no government. There's just a Thunderhead, and he knows everything and sees everything, and he runs the cops, and like, there's no prisons, and like, what the fuck? It's just, it's crazy. They explain it, and it's just like all sort of plausible. And like, the nanites, and how like, you can't feel pain anymore, and how they turn them down so that Rowan can feel pain, and like, oh my god, SCYTHE Goddard, he's such a good villain because he's such an ass, but like, he believes in his cause. There are moments where you're like, he's just messed up, man. He's a sociopath. And what do you do with sociopaths in a world like this when they can rise to SCYTHEdom? And oh my god, I love how the Head Blade was his mentor. It's so good. good. I love how they turn down the nanites, and Goddard has this whole speech about how pain is gonna make him stronger. Or I don't know, does Volta say that? I don't know. Goddard has said some things that are like, oh wow, I guess that makes sense. But then also he's a mass murderer. It's so good. Oh yeah, Citra. Okay, so she throws herself off the building. She wakes up, the Thunderhead's freaking talking to her. The Thunderhead is like the closest thing they have to God. Oh my god, I love the joke with the Thunderhead when he's like trying to figure out a loophole, and she's like, why do I see a beach ball? And he's like, ancient programming. It's like Apple is the Thunderhead. What the fuck? Okay, I have so much cursing in here, and I'm sorry. Just please run with it. Please, let me do it. Then Citra wakes up in like South America or something because the Thunderhead brought her there so that they wouldn't kill her, just to make it so that Rowan gets to be the next Scythe, because Scythe Goddard doesn't want Rowan to lose the end. Oh my god, it's just ridiculous. Honorable Scythe Marie is there to wake her up, and then we find out that Marie and Faraday were lovers. What the fuck? It just blew my mind, and I was like, what? For 7 years? And like learning the punishment for breaking a commandment is like 7 deaths, but then they just like bring you back? It's just mind-boggling. Like, they don't get killed off, even for breaking a commandment, when they're scythes. And the whole idea of scythes being able to commit suicide and then they're not revived is also horrifying, because the Thunderhead can't intervene. So like, what if someone murders them? It's cray-cray. And then Scythe Faraday isn't even dead! And why didn't I think of that? Why? Because he was so honorable and it made sense, and he's just retired, and who knows if Marie is planning to retire too, and like so they could be together again in their retirement. I don't know. When Marie was talking about how like she had a crush on him when she was training with it, like, I pictured her as older. Oh my god, in Marie's past, when she's like famous for killing the president and his cabinet. She was like a radical back in her day. And like how her grandma made chicken noodle soup and it could cure a cold, and Citra's like, what's it called? And how the nanites in them, the emotional, whatever they are, control their emotions, so if they get too angry, it brings them down, and they can't get too sad, like they can't really get depressed, and how the art, like they can't relate to art from the mortal age because they don't have that strong of emotion. They can't relate to that level of grief. Kids just fucking kill themselves for fun because they'll just get revived. That girl was like, I killed myself again one time just because the ice cream was so good when they brought me back. Then we go to Rowan, and we're getting more and more concerned about Volta. As soon as Goddard invites over the head blade, we realize that shit, that kid that's been around, that's just been meandering around the mansion for weeks, is his illegitimate daughter. And of course, like, it's confirmed really quickly that it is, and that Goddard's just been holding that over him, that the head blade has a kid, and it's illegal to have kids. Like, what happens? Does he get like 7 deaths, or does he actually get killed when that happens? Can you just be fired from Scythedom? I don't know. That's a whole other story there. Like, how the hell did that happen? I guess the same way Marie and Faraday happened. The people holding onto religions are called atoners or whatever, tuning fork people. Goddard decides that even though they're past quota, and he wants to delete the quota for killing people so he can just, go on mass murder sprees every day? It's so messed up. So they go on this mass murder spree. This last spree was batshit. Rowan abandons his post at the front gate because he wants people to be able to escape. He sees Volta out there crying, blood all over his hands, goes over there, asks him what's wrong. Volta just slaughtered a whole bunch of kids, and I burst into tears listening to this story. And then we realized that Volta just committed suicide as well. It was so crippling from Rowan's point of view, because Volta was someone, together they could take down Goddard and be done with this. He was his only lifeline in this cage he's been put in when Goddard took him on as an apprentice. Rowan goes back and he starts yelling at Goddard, and Goddard is trying to make him glean somebody, and then we're led to believe Rowan is gonna glean the guy, and then he runs his blade through Goddard, and I was like, what the holy forking shit? Then he chops off his head. Holy shit. Then another scythe comes out, and the scythe is like, what did you do? And then he kills the other scythes, and then he flamethrowers them. they can't come back. And it was just all cray-cray. It was just cray-cray. Like, everything was cray-cray. I just, like, couldn't believe the lettuce did all of this by himself, and, like, he just, like, really took charge and murdered all the scythes. And we know, because of all the setup, you can't interfere in this. It's a scythe situation. The Thunderhead can't interfere. That it must know in book 2, maybe, that this happened. And then we see him talking to the head blade, and the head blade's all relieved because the guy who knew his secret is gone. And then Rowan references the daughter and winks at him. He suspects that Rowan murdered them all, but he also knows that Rowan knows about his illegitimate child, and he's like, oh, maybe I should drop the charges. Now Rowan has that same power over him. He's blackmailing him just like Goddard was. We could argue that he did all this stuff for the greater good, but he crossed a line. He's in very gray territory. There's just so much I love about what's going on in here. All these philosophical questions that arise when you're reading it. I love how different Marie Curie's apprenticeship was compared to Faraday's. She randomly gleans people based on what she sees in their eyes. Like, if they look like they're stagnant, if they're done being here. I love the question she poses. What will we be 200 years from now when people are reaching age like 500, 600? Like, will we be a bunch of Renaissance children that have mastered all these different arts and languages and read so many books, or will we be these emotionless, inhuman zombies that are just, you know, wandering through life stagnant because they can? And there's endless things I could talk about. When she gleans someone, she invites their family over for dinner, and she says, you can glean me if you want. Like, do it. I killed someone. Like, they'll revive me. But if it's gonna make you feel better, like, I can talk about this forever. I just made Citra kill her brother for the scythe test. That was so sad. Oh my god, I have to talk about the extended families. The idea of turning a corner, and how he mentions that one grandmother who turns the corner back to like 25, and her daughter is 35, and it makes her uncomfortable and makes her think at 35 she has to turn the corner. They're in the process of making it so you can turn a corner back to your teenage years. You can turn corners and like be young again and just like restart your entire life and have 50 million kids, and there's so much extended family that kids do become like Rowan, like the lettuce. I mean, you've had so many that you don't really care that much anymore. It's not new. It's not like a fresh experience. You have other family to think about. The parents get so old that they're just thinking about themselves and how they're ready to reset and try it again. Like, it's batshit. Just like looking at Scythe Faraday's way of gleaning. He's doing it the best he can, but it's still insane to think that he's looking at statistics for how teenagers would die every year, because a percentage would die. He's taking the place of nature. And because this kid drinks a lot and he's a teenager, he fits the statistic in the beginning and he's killed. And how the scythes are untouchable. Like, no laws apply to them except for the scythe commandments. It's a formula for disaster. It can only go on for so long before you're gonna get a bad scythe, like Scythe Goddard. There's gonna be bad seeds, and there's no one to police the scythe. So once you rise to scythedom, and you're a sociopath, or, you know, a serial killer, like, you're untouchable. Unless a scythe decides that for the greater good, they're gonna break the commandments and murder you. Like, holy shit, I just finished, and that was amazing. That was fantastic. To the very end, I was like, what? Oh my god, Rowan is Batman! He is the villain that the scythedom needs. Citra was scythe. I knew she wasn't gonna kill him, but I was like, what the fuck is she gonna do? Like, are they gonna fight their way out? But she's genius. Why didn't I think of having him have immunity? Why didn't I think of that? I didn't even think about it. And then she punches him, and the blood gets on her ring, and then he has immunity, and he can't be killed for a year. She has set up a car outside for him, and then he gets outside of the car, and Scythe Faraday's in the fucking car. Like, what? I love when she announced her scythe name. Scythe Anastasia, that's so cool. And her reasoning behind it, like, Anastasia was killed because of a corrupt system. Who knows, she could have been the force of so much change. She could have changed the world, but she wasn't let to. And the same thing almost happened to Citra. It was so good. I am so excited to read the next one. I love that she's gonna continue as a junior scythe under Marie's apprenticeship. I love everything. This was fantastic. The world was so rich. All the characters were great. Please share your thoughts. I don't even know what else to say. It's 1:40 in the morning now. shit happens. I'm Christine. I'm at XTINEMAY on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye!